In this video, I will do a walkthrough building an integration with IntegrationHub to Twitter. The outcome of this application will be to post the short description of an incident to Twitter, like so. This I have created it on the incident. Here you see that it's already finished, and in the short description there is now a link to the new tweet. So here you see the tweet is just created. So this is not a real life example. I wouldn't recommend doing this in a production instance. Post all your short descriptions to Twitter. But this is how to get an idea to get an integration from scratch. And this uses OAuth 1.0. Twitter does not support OAuth 2. And it takes a bit more work to get this working, so let's get started. So this is the instance where I've prepared it, and I'm now gonna create it on this instance. First I'm gonna start off, because I want to have it as a scoped app, to create a repository in my GitHub account. So here I have the link to the Git, and now in the new one I'm gonna start with opening Studio, and I'm gonna create a new application. Start from scratch. Also gonna call it Twitter tweet. Open it, and first start off with linking it to source control. This is the Git. Now the repository is ready, and so now it's linked, and I'm gonna close Studio for now, and I'm gonna open up the FlowDesigner, and let's create a new action, because it's a new action we want to use, and let's call it tweet, and create a new action category, and let's call the category Twitter. So this is good. Now we're ready to go, and let's switch back and forward to the original. First I have action inputs, and what we need to do is create the inputs, and the input is gonna be the incident record. So here in the other four are for authentication. So let's just copy them. We need 5. Incident, and that's gonna be a reference to the incident table. And let's do a save. I've copy and pasted the inputs, and then we need to create the next step, and the next step is going to be a scripting step, because we need to adjust the data that is going to be posted to the REST step we'll create later. So here the step is called generate authorization header. Let's call it also generate authorization header, or maybe it is generate Twitter data. I think this is a more accurate name. And let's first copy the entire script. I'm gonna go over the script later. And also here again, we need to create variables. So now we have the input variables that are going to be used in the script. And to use an input variable, for example, incident, that is the record, you can now use it as inputs. That is the start object, and then the name of the that you have defined here as the value of the input variable. And because this is a glide record, you can do a get value short description. The rest are just strings, so they can be referred simpler. The next step, let's go to the original one. Here is the output. In this case, the output is only going to be endpoint and query. Let's create that in the new one. Create one variable, endpoint and query. Here it is defined, and then you need to also explicitly output that variable in order to be able to use it in the next step, which is going to be the actual REST call to the Twitter API. A quick, let's first check this. Yes, this is the tweet step. So let's create a new REST step. And let's call it tweet. And let's check how it's done here. It's going to be a method post, and the base URL is this. So let's first get that in place, method post, and define connection inline needs to be selected, and then we can drag and drop the base URL again, that is this variable that is outputted. I can use it here, and it is used as the base URL. And what other steps? We have a header. The header is gonna be, in the old one it is content type and any other things we have to add? No. So this seems good. So now the rest is the tweet should be posted by now. But what we want to do is get the payload or get the content body of the response from Twitter, and that we are gonna do again in a REST step. So let's add a script step. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna post the link to the new tweet as a work note in the referring incident. So this should be good, and we need to output. What are we outputting? We're gonna output work note. So one output. And then what are we gonna do next? We're gonna add a new step, update record. And here we're gonna use the original incident. And we need to add to the field work note. And we're gonna set it to the value of the work note. Save. So basically we are done now, and we should be good. So what this step is supposed to do, it gets as input the incident that is worked on, and with the authentication keys, it can generate a tweet. The result is parsed, and the uh, link to the created tweet is posted back to the work node of the incident. So let's save it and publish it. And now what we need to do, I'm gonna stay in the same scoped application. Probably normally you wouldn't do that, but I'm gonna create a new flow now, and let's call it tweet incident. The trigger is gonna be created or updated, and we're gonna do it on the incident table. Let's add a filter to only do it when the short description changes, and always, why not? And then let's do one thing first. Let's go to Studio for a short moment, and then let's go to the settings of the application, and here we can add a nice logo. Let's do this one. Okay, good. Close it again and go back to the Flow Designer, and now we have a nice logo of Twitter. The incident is gonna be the base record that is worked on, and the consumer key, for that you need to go to your need to create an application on your Twitter account, and there you will have the values, and this is just for test. I'm gonna change this afterwards. So this is again an action of copy and pasting. Save it. And I need to do one more thing. the Twitter authentication requires a very strict way of signing your tweet. It's described here, and it's pretty hard to implement. It took me some hours, kept me out of bed. But what you do is follow this exactly, and then in the end you will get a signature of your tweet. And for that, I have found a JavaScript implementation that creates hashes for you. It's over here. Let's copy this one, and here go to script includes, create a new one. Paste the info. It's called CryptoJS. Let's also copy the description. And I need to change this reference because it's used in the script step. Over here, the script includes, where is it? Is called one side note, I am using the Twitter API requires double quotes in the values of the authorization header, and this doesn't work from ServiceNow because ServiceNow puts double quotes around the key values of the headers. So what I've done here, I've passed it to as a query string. So if you need more details, reach out and I can explain a bit further. But now this should be okay. Publish it. And from here, let's go to the flow and hit test. And put in an incident, run test. After it is run, click on this link to see the results. And here you see that there is still something wrong. Let's try to debug this. So the problem I found was I forgot to add the endpoint to the Twitter API. It's defined here, and this is the value. Let's save it and publish. This one I need to delete. Let's save again and publish. So now that this is in place, let's run another test. Here are no errors, but let's see the output. So we get a value back from Twitter, and it all seems good. So let's check now. It seems all to be working properly. Now we can activate the flow. And let's create a new incident. So it's created now, and let's see if it's running. Here you see it's now, the response is getting back and the tweet is created. Now that this is working, let's go back to Studio. Open the Twitter tweet application again and source control, commit the changes. So there are 144 items created. So that's done, and let's check the repository. And here it's all being added to the repository. So when you want to use this, I'll put a link in the description. You can clone or fork this repository and try to work with it yourself. So this is it for now. Good luck. Be aware that you have to be pretty precise to generate the right payload, or the query string in this case, in order to get the API working. I hope it helps you in building your own integrations. Good luck and thank you.